the shed. It's a Monday evening here. I'm doing my weekly review to the games to date so far. We're going to talk about the games from Thursday night and Sunday and into late last night, where the Packers and the Cowboys played out an exciting tie, but for some people it wasn't good enough. So you're very welcome along to the show. It's a Monday evening. We have two games on tonight. We have the Jets of the Dolphins and we have the Bengals of the Broncos. I don't know whether I'll stay up. I'll stay up and watch a bit of the Jets and the Dolphins to start, but I don't think I'll see it all. But they're, on paper, could be two big games, an AFC East divisional game, and then the Bengals Broncos last year was a cracker. But there is no Joe Burrow in the Bengals team, and for that I worry about them. And the Jets and the Dolphins, well, Justin Fields is back tonight, so it may. I did tip the Dolphins to win, but hearing that kind of makes me change my mind a little bit. But I'll stick with what I picked. So you're very welcome along, people. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. We've a lot to discuss tonight, so we'll talk about the Bills and Saints in a little bit. We'll talk about the game in Dublin between the Vikings and the Steelers and the whole atmosphere. And we'll talk about all the other games. There was some big, huge games on over the weekend. There was the Eagles at the Buccaneers. There was the Ravens at the Chiefs. There was the Packers at the Cowboys. There was the Chargers at the Giants, which turned out to be a huge, huge game. So we'll kick into the show. So let me start. We'll start off. I did do it on my last video about Thursday night game where the Seahawks beat the Cardinals. I did pick the Seahawks to win. They did win, but the Cardinals will be kind of kicking themselves from, as discussed there on Friday. Kyler Murray didn't do himself justice, and I think they left it too late, and the Seahawks got the win in the end with a last kick field goal. And then we move on to Sunday's game. So the first game on Sunday was the Vikings at the Steelers in Croke Park in Dublin. Now I have to say, I wasn't at it, as people know, but watching it, it was absolutely amazing to see how well the pitch looked, the stadium looked, the crowd was really into it. It turned out to be a very good game. And I picked the Vikings to win because I didn't think Aaron Rodgers and the offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers were clicking, but they clicked on Sunday. DK Metcalf scored a wonderful touchdown. Rodgers played a very good game. Carson Wentz and the Vikings, they will feel like they left it behind. Both defenses played well at points, but both defenses then made mistakes. But the better of the two teams won on the day. I think it was good for the Irish NFL that the Steelers did win, and they won deservedly. I'm not going to begrudge. Rodgers had a great game, played very well, and their defense got to Carson Wentz and made interceptions and got into the swing of things, and they really helped with the atmosphere. It was a brilliant atmosphere, seeing the terrible towels and how many there was, and the other teams that were supported there too. Like, there wasn't just the Vikings and the Steelers. Every NFL team had someone in a jersey, and it was brilliant to see him. There was over 74,500 at the game, and I think it's a great thing for the future, where the NFL has been proven to be a success here, and hopefully we'll see many more games, and please God, one day we'll see the Bills there. That's my dream. So well done, the Vikings. The Steelers. I did pick the Vikings to win, so I got that wrong. Then we go on to the other game Sunday evening. So the Commanders at the Falcons. I picked the Falcons to win. They won 34-27. Deservedly so. B.J. Robinson was class. Drake London was class. Michael Penix Jr. was class. Kyle Pitts was class. Their defense shut down the Commanders as much as they could. Marcus Mariota didn't have the worst of games, but the Falcons were all over this, and the Falcons were winning this game in my eyes. I did pick them to win on Thursday. Yes, they had a blip against the Panthers, but to be fair to them, they were back to where they were in week 1 and week 2, where they were just a team that were like they were possessed and they weren't going to let it go. So well done, the Falcons. Now we come to our own game. The New Orleans Saints at the Buffalo Bills. We won 31-19. Now, when I was doing the video Friday, I was honestly thinking we'd put it to bed like we did the Jets and then rest Josh Allen and rest our offense, Kahil Shakir, Keon Coleman, offensive line, Dalton Kincaid, our defense, rest them and win it out. Well, it didn't turn out that way. Fair play to the Saints. Spencer Rattler, they played well. He had 126 passing yards for 1 touchdown, no interception. Alvin Kamara had 70 yards rushing. And Rashid Shaheed had 47 yards reception on 4. The Bills, Josh Allen had 209 passing yards. He had a 72.7% completion, 2 touchdowns, and he had his first interception of the year. It's going to happen. There's going to be some. He played very well. He did brilliant. There was a point in that game where he scored a touchdown when we needed it, and then he also made a run that I think was the turning point of the game in the, I don't know if it was the third quarter or fourth, but it was in the second half. It was very important. Another great game, James Cook, 117 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, 5 yards per rush. Kahil Shakir, awesome game again. 69 yards, 1 touchdown out of 5 receipts, even 13.8 yards per catch. Our defense. I'm not being smart. The NFL is a top league, and every team has their pluses and their minuses. Seattle Seahawks smashed these guys last week, and I don't know what the game plan was. Maybe it wasn't show all your chips. Maybe it was just get it done. We got it done. But my nerves right now is our defense, because we have the offense and we can get points, and we have shown that. But I haven't seen a performance yet from our defense to say, we're here, we're frightening, we're going to get you. Cole Bishop had a wonderful interception, one-handed interception. It's great to see him getting into the game. There was some plus points, but there was some stupid things too. And we need to have this defense now coming in. To the next few games, you have the Patriots. They had a great win at the weekend. We have to push on. We have to beat them. I think it's the Falcons. It's the Panthers, and then the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are starting to click because, as I'll discuss later, they're getting their wide receivers back. And Josh Allen and our offense cannot do it every week without help from the defense, and the defense needs to start showing up. They did have some good plays, don't get me wrong. I'm not 100% critical of them, but we need to start showing. And if we have to show it against these, I won't say smaller teams because they're not smaller in the NFL, they're all the same. But for this year, the New Orleans is the lesser team. Then we need to be starting showing it against the lesser teams, keeping them down to even 10 points or less, making a statement, killing the game off early, and letting our starters have rest. So when we meet the big games later on, we're ready for it. I'm not giving out. A win is a win. I'm thankful for the win. We're 4-0. We're exactly where we want to be. But our offense, when it needs to turn on, it turns on. I'm still waiting for our defense to turn on. That's what I'm going to say. Good win. It's not that I belittle any victory in the NFL, because I don't. But Seahawks smashed them last week. We should have smashed them this week, and we should have had Josh Allen and Co. sitting on the sideline for quarter 4, relax, let Mitch Trubisky out and throw a few balls. But anyway, we got the win, and we roll on to the Patriots. Then the Browns are at the Lions, and what can I say about the Browns? Joe Flacco needs to be taken out. He's been a great servant to the NFL, but their defense kept them in this game for a long time. And to be honest, Joe Flacco isn't the Joe Flacco he was. It happens to us all in different parts of life. The Lions, Jared Goff and Co. clicked into gear. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Gibbs and Montgomery were awesome as well. They won 34-10. I picked the Lions. the Browns defense will keep them in every game, except the Browns offense, if they don't keep them to 7 or 10 points, they're not going to win, because right now, Joe Flacco is not your answer quarterback, and you've got Jerry Jeudy at wide receiver who can catch balls. Why not give Dylan Gabriel a chance? The Giants, as we discussed, gave Jackson Dart a chance yesterday, and he proved his pudding. So the Lions are a win. Next game we're going to talk about, not going to spend long on, Texans beat the Titans 26-0. The Titans and Brian Callahan seems to... Cam Ward wasn't happy. Brian Callahan wasn't happy. Whether they're not happy with each other, I don't know. But the Titans are a team now that are 0-4. That's 0 points against a divisional rival who wasn't clicking. And it wasn't a hugely outstanding performance by the Texans, but it was better, and CJ Stroud got the win. They're facing, I think, the Ravens next, so it'll be a real test. But at least they have the kick on where they got the win. As for the Titans, it's season over. Then we had the Panthers at the Patriots. I picked the Patriots. I didn't think it'd be this one-sided, but it was 13-42. Patriots looked good. Panthers looked awful. No more I'm going to say about it. We were playing the Patriots next weekend, so let's bring it on. Then we had the Chargers. Up to there, I wasn't bad. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7. Going well. Now, here we come to the bumps. I had the Chargers at the Giants. Earlier in the week, I didn't know if Jackson Dart was starting. He did start. He was awesome. Scatterbo was awesome. They had a major injury. Malik Neighbours is out for the season with a torn ACL. Very sorry to hear that, Malik, and hope you recover. He's a huge loss. But the Giants aren't going to win the Super Bowl next year. But Brian Daboll has now got a quarterback I think he can build on. He has a running back he can build on. And they will have other wide receivers that will get fed because Malik is out. They get through the season with a reasonable score, get Malik Neighbours back next year, they will be a team then that can challenge. Russell Wilson, he's seen his sayonara. Time to get out of New York. Time to retire. No more than Joe Flacco. He's won a Super Bowl. Let him enjoy it. Sail off into the sunset. He should never came to Denver. He should never went to Pittsburgh. He should never came to New York. But he did. And it has tainted his legacy. That's what I'm going to say. Well done, Giants. I did pick the Chargers. That was a wrong. My next wrong. I picked the Buccaneers over the Eagles. The Eagles ran away early in the game. Baker Mayfield never gives up, brings them back. They lost 31-25. They had a blocked, I think it was a punt or field goal, I'm not sure which, that the Eagles returned at the start to go 7-0 up. The Eagles they're winning. They're like the Chiefs last year. They're winning games. They're not looking particularly impressive, but they're winning games. Themselves and ourselves are 4-0, and all the rest have lost. So we're down to the last 2 unbeaten records. Do I think the Buccaneers are out after yesterday's game, as in an NFC contender? No. Certain things happen in games that will only happen once and should not happen a second time. So I think that Baker, and they had Godwin back yesterday, and he was kind of rusty, but he will improve. Get Mike Evans back. They have Ekabugu, I think that's how you pronounce it. He was brilliant again yesterday. They're a team that, for me, will be thereabouts come the NFC title game. Then we had the Colts at the Rams. I picked the Rams to win, sorry. The Colts lost 20-27. There was a drop touchdown in this game where a man caught the ball. I think Mitchell is his name, if I can remember. Let me get the stats up here. Rams, Colts. And he caught the ball. Adonai Mitchell caught the ball, beat the 2 defenders, running into the end zone, hand out, loses control of the ball before he gets to the line, falls out of his hand. That's 7 points. That's the game. He also caused a penalty for another touchdown that was cancelled. So it was a bad day for him. He had 3 receptions for 96 yards. That was good. Jonathan Taylor had 76 rushing yards, 17 attempts. And Daniel Jones, or they call him now Indiana Jones, had 262 passing yards. Same as Josh Allen, 72.7% completion. He threw 1 touchdown, but his first 2 interceptions, he had 2 interceptions for the year. The Colts are doing okay. It was a tough place to go. They will level off a little bit, but I think Daniel Jones is their quarterback, and I don't think that they'll be the basement dwellers of the AFC South this year. Tennessee's looking after that for them. I do think they will continue winning that division, and if Daniel Jones can level off, get to his right level, play safe, play good. They have Pittman, they have Adonai Mitchell, as it turns out. They have Jonathan Taylor as well. They have a good offense, they have a good defense, offensive line as well. They can win this AFC South, but that's up to themselves. Then we had a bit of a shock. So, for me anyway, the Jaguars 26, the 49ers 21. And it wasn't a nail biter or anything like that. Where I called it a shock was I didn't think Brock Purdy would be as poor. It turns out he was back yesterday. He still has a sore toe, but he played. Mac Jones was kind of injured as well, but when I was doing my video Friday, I thought both of them were out this weekend. Turns out not to be. The 49ers are building up more and more injuries. They're a team that looked like they could win the division a few weeks ago. Now these injuries are catching up with them. And there's a bit of controversy too between Robert Saleh and Liam Cohen, where during the week Saleh reckoned that they were stealing signs or signals. I don't know, like if every team is doing it or watching it, then what can you say? But the Jaguars got a good win. A disappointing for the 49ers, but the Jaguars defense turned up when it happened. Mattered. Excuse me. And then we go to the big game of the night. So another bump in the road. I picked the Ravens to beat the Chiefs. Both teams were 1-2 going into it. The Chiefs are 2-2, and the Ravens are 1-3. Lamar Jackson, he apparently has a hamstring injury of some kind. It didn't look good. Not that injury, the way he left the game. It reminded me of Aaron Rodgers last year when we played the Jets in Highmark when they were getting hammered. He pulled out. At least he had the decency to say, I'm pulling out. Lamar Jackson went off and it finished 37-20. I think it was 30-13 at the time. And, the Ravens, their defense is getting exposed. People are learning to stop their run game and Derrick Henry. They're learning to get through that offensive line and get to Lamar Jackson, who is now Cooper Rush. We don't know how long Lamar Jackson may be out for. And they're gone from the team everyone needs to beat to win the AFC to will they make the playoffs. Now, they're going to Houston, or they're playing Houston next week. I don't know if it's in Houston or in Baltimore yet. But I have it ready for my video on Thursday night. But my point being about it is, if somehow the Texans beat them, wow, because the Steelers are 3-1 in that. The Bengals are playing tonight. They can go 3-1 if they beat the Broncos. Don't see it happening, but it could happen. Stranger things. If they go to 1-4 and these other two teams win a game, it's a long way back to win the division, and it's a long way back to get into the playoffs. So that was grand. Let's go on to the next one. I have a yay. I picked the Bears to beat the Raiders. They won 25-24. A blocked field goal at the very end won the game for them. I watched some of this on Red Zone. It was awful. There was a lot of points in the game, but Caleb Williams at times looked brilliant. And Caleb Williams at times looked awful. And I thought at one stage Max Crosby batted up the ball in the air. He caught it, ran out. I said, that's it, curtains. Back to the old Bears again. But they got 2 wins in a row now. Ben Johnson got the win. Caleb Williams gets the win. The Raiders, they're rebuilding for next year. I don't see the Bears as anywhere contending for even a playoff spot, but they just got the win yesterday. Happy days for them. And then last night, the late night game, the Sunday night game, was the Packers and the Cowboys. It finished 40-40 after overtime. Excuse me. I said there'd be 2 sacks for Micah Parsons. There wasn't. There was 1. So I was halfway there. Other than that, both offenses clicked. Both offenses played very well. Both defenses looked very shaky. The only thing I will say is the Packers got away with it because at the very end, they missed in overtime. They did kick a last-second field goal to tie it, but the way they made that play beforehand, they just ran the clock down. As it was a split second that was left when that ball went dead. It could have been over, and bad clock management, time management. But they got the tie. Apparently, in American football, a tie is worse than a loss. I don't see how, but it is. In soccer, it's a point. In Gaelic, it's a replay. But in American football, you're better off losing than having a tie, apparently. But if you're the team that loses, you'll say, I'd rather a tie. But we'll see. And then, as I said tonight, the Jets are playing the Dolphins. From what I heard last, Justin Fields is back. That makes a difference to me, but we'll see what kind of Justin Fields there is. I'll still stick with the Dolphins because that was my pick. The Bengals, with Jake Browning, is playing Bo Nix. Bo Nix hasn't had a brilliant season 2 so far, so tonight's his night to show me. So I still stick with the Broncos to win that game. And that is it, folks. That's my video for tonight. It was a great weekend. I enjoyed the Dublin game. I've seen the second half at home. I watched the first half in a chipper. After my daughter's game, they went for pizza and chips and stuff like that. So I got the atmosphere. They looked amazing. All the guys, Michael McQuaid, Jimmy English, Mark Hogan, Jason Hayes, Twist or Stephen Kearns, all them guys, well done, because all your hard work, as many others, brought that to yesterday. So well done. Congratulations. It was a huge success. And roll on getting the Bills into Croke Park. Next year, year after, don't care. Just get the Bills there. Thanks very much for watching, folks. I'll have my usual Tuesday night video with Therese tomorrow night, where we'll talk about how the atmosphere was like at Highmark. Like, it seemed electric yesterday, I have to say. It was buzzing. It was a beautiful day. It was the same kind of weather was there yesterday to when I was there last year, and that was beautiful. Warm, hot, blue skies, nothing else. It was gorgeous. There seemed to be a great atmosphere, bit of banter and the whole lot. So we'll see what the crack was. And we roll on to this weekend. And this weekend, against the Patriots, we're wearing our new jersey. It's rivals jersey for this game. I think both teams are going wearing theirs, but I'm not sure about the Patriots yet. I am sure about the Bills. The Bills are in ice white this week, so roll it on. And all I can hope for is my one comes before Friday. I will say no more. So, folks, thank you very much for watching. Until tomorrow evening, and hope you had a wonderful and happy weekend. Stay safe, stay happy, and as always, my friends, go Bills.